So I found myself agreeing with a Green MP. I know, I'll give you a moment. I'm also processing this. Have I gone to the dark side? So there's this video going around from Hannah Spencer, Gorton and Denton's Green MP, on a podcast making a casual comment about MPs drinking before votes. And her point is very simple. They shouldn't be.
I'm really uneasy about, and I noticed this the other day, when you can smell the alcohol when people are in between votes and as everyone's going in to vote, some people have been drinking in between. Like there's a room where I walked past and I doubled back and looked in because people are just sat having a drink.
And she's right. And also, that doesn't suddenly make me think that the Green Party are fit to run the country. Both things can exist at the same time. And I don't know when we decided that you're not allowed to do that anymore. To agree with someone on one thing without signing up to their entire worldview. And I think the reaction to her saying this says something quite big about how politics works now. Because instead of engaging with what she's actually saying, you're getting this immediate pivot. Yeah, but the Greens want to legalize drugs. Yeah, but their policies are mad. Okay? And what does that actually have to do with this exact point that we're talking about right now? It's like we decided that if someone is wrong about one thing, they must be wrong about everything. And if they're right about one thing, we're not allowed to admit it now. It's not even an argument, it's just deflection. Because it completely misses what's actually happening here. This isn't really about alcohol. I mean, yeah, obviously she's talking about alcohol, but it's actually about the optics now. Because whether MPs are sitting there having a drink or two, or out on the lash before votes, or just having a quick drink between sessions, to the average person watching that clip, it looks like this. You're making decisions about the country, and you've had a drink in your hand. In no other job would that be normal.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
And just to be clear, I'm not saying that politicians have to live like monks. Have a drink, enjoy your life, support your local pub, but maybe not in between making decisions for the country. I don't know why that feels like a controversial take. So when politicians even look like they're doing that, it doesn't come across as tradition. It doesn't come across as you having a cheeky pint at the pub with your colleagues. It comes across as not taking it seriously, and more importantly, not taking us seriously. Because this isn't just about how it looks, it's about whether or not people feel respected by the people making decisions. And this is where I think something has changed in social media politics. Because it's not really about who's right anymore, it's about who looks right. And right now, people don't trust politicians to be right. They trust whoever feels like they mean it. And right now, the Greens have figured that out. They position themselves as the ones pointing at the mess, the ones calling things out, the ones who look like they care, as the anti-establishment. And that is the sexiest thing you can be in politics right now. Even if you completely disagree with their actual policies, because the irony is, every time an MP jumps in to defend this side of MP culture, they don't make it better. They make it worse, usually at the exact moment they should just stop talking.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
They make themselves look out of touch, and they make the Greens look even more like the only people willing to say, hang on, this doesn't feel right. I'm sorry, but how? How have we got to a point where this is the dynamic? And I know that Westminster has its own culture, its own traditions, but at some point you have to ask, why does that culture look nothing like the lives of the people you're governing? Because to a normal person, this just sounds like, you don't get it. This is our world and not yours.
How do you do, fellow kids?
And that's the exact perception problem people already have. You don't fix that by explaining the rules. You fix that by not needing to explain it in the first place. And this is where it gets a bit awkward for certain parties, because take something like the recent example of Richard Tyson, the whole tax situation, something I already have spoken about in another video. And supposedly what he did was perfectly legal, perfectly legit, completely within the rules. But if you're positioning yourself as ultra patriotic, pro Britain, and then you minimize how much you contribute to it, the optics are not your friend.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So now you've got this weird split happening where some parties might be much stronger on policy, but they're weaker on how they come across. And others might have policies that you completely disagree with, but they're winning on presentation. And in a world where most people aren't reading manifestos, guess which one matters more? Exactly. When people watch that clip, they're not analysing parliamentary procedure. They're asking something much simpler. Do you look like you're taking this seriously? And if it feels like no, then it doesn't matter how many technical explanations you give, you've already lost the room. Because I'm beginning to realise that this is how it starts now. Not with someone suddenly agreeing with everything, but with one moment where you think, well, they're the only ones saying what I'm thinking right now. So no, I haven't suddenly become a green voter. Chillax. Let's not get carried away. But if you keep ignoring how things look and only focus on how things technically are, don't be surprised when the people who understand the optics start winning the room. Even when the reality is far more complicated than that, even when they really, really shouldn't be. And if the only people who seem like they mean it are sadly the ones that you don't want in charge, then what does that say about everyone else? And honestly, after this video, I think I might need a drink too, ironically.
This has been the worst, most backwards day of my life.
Let me know what you think below. I mean, do you think she's right? Should MPs be drinking in between votes, or have I completely got this wrong? I mean, let me know what you think below. It really means the world to me. And as always, do think about giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.